All right, welcome back to another video. Last video, we spent some time setting up a very basic ant design form. We set up a post request. So when you submit that form, it submits some data, creates a row in the database, and then returns it back to the table. So just demonstrating that now, we can click create school. We can put in a name, and if we click create, we're actually sending a post request, getting the data, and then putting it back at the top of the table right here. To start this video, or at the end of the last video, we had this request. Oh, wait, 1 second. So I was experimenting with some changes. So let's stash that and take another look. What am I doing? Oh yeah, there we go. So we had this post request where we're creating the school, and we were using then catch because when we were setting our return types, this on finish couldn't use an asynchronous method or it has to return void from here, and we were using an asynchronous method. And we figured out that if you want to use a try catch like this, you can take your post request, we can await for it, and then we'll get the response from it. So we can do that, and then we have to make this asynchronous so we can use await, and then in that, because we do that, we have to say this is a promise that doesn't return anything. And then we run into the error where it says it must be awaited. Well, there's an error here. Promise must be awaited, end with a call to catch, and then, or explicitly marked as void. So if we explicitly mark that this is going to return nothing, or that we don't care, then we can do try catch up here. So that's how we fix that. So next step is, right now our pages look pretty ugly. So I'd like to set up styles so that we can sort of start adding our own custom styles, put this in a container, set a max width on it, and yeah, do all that fun stuff. So to start, I was taking a look, and we probably want to use the styled components package, which allows us to write styles in JavaScript and to create components kind of like in JavaScript. So definitely set up this. If you go to documentation and then go to installation, it's relatively simple. If you need the types, you'll want to install this as well. So install those, and then I've created a library folder, and the library folder is where I'm going to store all components that are used throughout the app that are custom to our application. So it's like our own little UI library that's extended from ant design and has whatever else we need. And in here, I've imported styled, and I've created a styled div named container that has a max width. And if we take that, we can import it into here. So import our container from our library. And I'm doing this in the wrong spot, so remove that. Go back to the index page. So this is our index for schools. Import the container, and let's use that instead of the ant design content layout. And if we refresh this, our component or our page should now have a max width. Content as design, but never used. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oops. All right, so now it's sort of hard to see, but on the right side, the table now has a max width. We would just now want to center this in the screen so that all of our content is in the center of the screen. So our container, this is like our page container. Maybe I'll even rename it to page container. And then let's go back to index, import page container. Just make sure that that's renamed. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking into maybe the best way to do this, but if you put margin auto, it'll be horizontally centered. So now we kind of have like our vertical column of content on the page. Perfect. Another thing, just to make this a little bit nicer, is there's no space in between create school and the table, and we probably want a header to say what this table is. Even if you see it like in the create school button, you'd want a header as well. So if we go to create the school table, we have our button here. We probably also want to import some types from design, so typography. Let's get a header from here. And how does this work? You import typography, and then you import a title, and then you set the level on it. Okay. Okay, we're already importing from D, so we can move that up there. And then we're going to import title. And let's add a title here of level, let's say, I don't know, 2. And the title is going to say schools for the school table. So if we go back here, we now have a header. We probably want to line these up so that it just looks a little bit nicer. It's all in line. So my favorite way to line up things horizontally is to use Flexbox. I know some people are bigger fans of column layouts and things like that, but Flexbox is what we're going to use. Just in line, we're going to move this out. Yeah, let's just do it in line for now, and then we'll move it out. Do what I want to do. So import styled from styled components. There we go. And we're going to create a table header. Well, yeah, let's create a table header. It's going to be a div. I'm going to try and make an effort to not use as many divs. But it's going to be a div. It's going to be display flex. The flex direction is going to be row. That's by default, but I like to explicitly say it because it's easier to read. And then justify content space between. So this is going to take any content and put as much space between it as it can possibly do. And if we wrap our button and our title in here, they should now be aligned in a row with space between them. Perfect. And you can see the school is at the top here. We'll probably want to align top as well. Or sorry, align item center so they're all horizontally in line. There we are. Look at that. And I think if we inspect this, it's got some spacing on it. And if we look, that spacing is all because this H2 has a default margin bottom and margin top. Margin bottom 0.5, where's the margin top? There should be one. Interesting. Okay, not sure why. Margin 24.9, where do you see? That's computed, so computed has line no changes, compatibility, fonts. So I'm surprised to not see another margin definition on this. Okay, gonna ignore that for now. This is like nicely spaced right now, and it's because the header has margin by default with ant design. So we can just keep that. Okay, and then let's set up. So with style components, you're creating like you're writing CSS in JavaScript, and you're creating components that you can reuse and use all over the place. But you'll also probably want to set up global style so that you can sort of do some reset or like hard overwrite some things that you'd like to reset just across your app. So let's create a global styles folder. That's TSX, right? Or at least just TS. Okay, so we're importing. We're gonna get the linter on save after this next thing, because I'm manually fixing all these errors. All right, so we're importing some global styles there. Now we'll need to. Is that a global? Is that a component? Is that really how you're supposed to do that? Okay, so we just need to import that component and put it in line with our content. So if we go to index, which is it's essentially our app as well, we can just import a global style from global styles. And if we just put that in line with here, and let's make a change in here. Background teal, we might see that. All right, so that those global styles are running. Rather than teal, let's pick something a little bit nicer. F3 maybe. All right, so that's about what we had before. But now that we know that's working, that's awesome. So we can sort of set up some global styles that aren't necessarily a component. Awesome. And now let's get eslint to run on save VS Code. Prerequisites. There's a whole project. I don't need that. Adding rules, adding code actions. Code actions on save. Okay. I think it's command comma save. Okay. Here we go. Code actions on save. Fix eslint, and can I put TypeScript in here instead of JavaScript? So if we go back here and we add like one of these semicolons back and then we click save. Where is it? Wow. Done. Okay, and we'll expand upon these global styles a bit. Maybe let's do some right now. I know there's like a ton of stuff you can do, but I'm sure Ant Design already does a lot of it for us, like resetting styling on inputs and a variety of things. Well, let's set up a nice font. We like enter, so let's solid components, global styles, custom font. Actually, I wonder if Ant Design has like something built in as well. Okay, there's nothing about a custom font. Okay, maybe we won't do that for now. Oops. You know what we should do is let's get, we're gonna put a left navigation bar on the side to navigate between the pages because I keep accidentally going back to this like hello world screen, which has nothing on it. We just have the school screen. So let's get some navigation going. And I know that And design has some, so let's take a peek. Feedback, data display, data entry, menu. I think it's actually in layout. That's nice, eh? Okay, let's just use this one. Got a lot of stuff in here. Oh, that's not too bad, actually. Okay, let's copy the code. And we're going to create a new folder in our library called like template, page templates. And in here, we're just gonna have, we'll just make our basic page first. So like a main page, whatever, basic page. And let's copy all of this in here. And then what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to just sort of use the basic page and then pass in your content and it will land on where we want it. So within here, you can see, if we go back to that example, so they've got their sidebar, they've got a header, and then they've got this paper trail here as well. We might make use of that paper trail. I think we will. So we want to keep that here, and then here's our actual content. So right here, with the tab, I need to set up my tab to be, one second, I'm gonna change my tab sets to space tab. Space tab. Okay. I thought you could set that up per language, but we'll give it for now, like that. So we're able to pass in like the page content as a prop, and you can see here we don't even have props on this. It's not, is it, do you see? No, it's interface, what am I doing? Props. So we're gonna have content, which is gonna be a type of like React component, functional component? I'm not sure. Okay. Did you mean content? No. So if we put this here, I can render that now. Oh, and I think we generally call it children. I think the type will probably change too. I don't think React functional component's quite right. Multiple childs provided. Oh, okay. Oops. I put that in here. Does it complain? Okay, I think I just want all of this wrapped in like one container. So let's put a div here for now. No. The JSX takes children prop expects a single child to take, but multiple children are provided. Okay, let's look this one up. I don't know. Oh, it just wants a different type. So I was saying that it's probably not functional component. There we go. I can remove that. Okay. Let's call this basic page. Basic page is not used anywhere because we renamed it and now we're exporting that. What's in that footer? I didn't even see the footer. No, down there. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Keep that. So we see we've got some items here which we're looping over. Get item. Where's that used? So it's get item is getting a label and a key, an icon and children. Okay. What is it saying? Always prefer const x. Okay, const item. What? Const x type equals. Does it even need? I can just return that as an object. Get item returns a menu item, and then it returns it as menu item. What the hell? Yeah, I bugged this code for sure. Oops. What if I just put? I don't know why you need the as. Like it's very clearly a menu item. Okay. So now let's just go ahead and use this, and what is the token thing? And we'll start modifying after that. So if we go back to our pages, in our school page, we're now going to want to import our basic page from our page templates. And if we just wrap everything, this will be returned as the content within that basic page. And one thing is we've dropped our page container as well, which had that max width on it. So if we take that out and we put it in our basic page here, around that content, then we don't need to redeclare a page container every time we have a new page. Defined but never used. I'm pretty sure it's used now. I just need to refresh. Schools index. I don't think it knows what it's talking about. Oh, there we go. So we can go to /schools, schools with an S. And there we are. So I actually might remove that margin auto now in our container because now you can see it looks a bit weird having the school table in the middle when you've got the left sidebar to sort of stay connected to. So let's do that really quick. No more margin auto, but we still like the max width. There we are. Okay. So some space issues here. We'll definitely have to like refine our design before we're ever done with this. But I don't like to do that too early in the process because there's plenty of functionality to work on first. So these do nothing right now because we're just, clicking on them and doing nothing with them. And we'll probably have space for a logo up there. I'm not sure we'll even use this top bar. because we already have like, so left navigation, and then we have a paper trail, or paper trail. Is it a paper trail? It's not a paper trail, it's a breadcrumb trail. And I don't know if we'll need that top navigation, so let's just remove that for now. We can always add it later. Whether it's collapsed or not. And the other thing we need to do is this items list, let's actually add some real things in here. So maybe we'll just have home and schools for now. And we can always add more later. We're no longer using the theme. We'll probably come back to that. No longer using that. No longer using that. I didn't even know they have an icon set too. It's very much so useful. Or library. Okay, and then when we click breadcrumb as well, I think the breadcrumb will have to be passed in. I might be able to pull it from the router. So like if you're on, or the component might have to render it too. The child might have to render it. Anyway, so we've got our sidebar. Where do these items go? Oh, there's a menu. And menu is a component from Ant Design. What sort of events does it have? Okay, we got menu. If we go to the props, we need like an on click. There it is. I'm gonna drop these down so they're vertically aligned. Easier to read, especially with like bigger components like this. So on click, we're going to want to navigate to that page. So we have our home page and our schools page. To do navigation, I believe we need use history. Depending on what, I think it's use history with this version, but we'll quickly find out. So this is a hook provided by, what is it provided by? React Router DOM. Okay, yeah, maybe it changed. I know they renamed it because use history felt kind of weird. I could probably go to the docs too. Use navigate, yeah. Use navigate feels way better than use history. So we can go use navigate. They probably name it navigate too, don't they? Yeah, navigate. Okay. So whenever this is clicked, we'll navigate to some sort of page, so like the item page or something, location. Right, I've moved ahead here and spent some time doing a little bit of research. I don't love what I've come up with, but I'm going to roll with it for now. What I've done is I've added, for each menu item, I've extended the type to include a location of string. So when we define items in our list, it's going to be the name, the key, the location you navigate to, and then whatever else you need. And then when you click on a menu item, the only thing we have access to is the key. So I've created this navigate menu item, which finds the menu item based off the key. And if it does find it, then it navigates. And that just feels like so bad, but it might not be that bad. But yeah, now if we go back, actually, before I jump around really quick, we're going to take the basic page component and we're going to wrap it around our home screen as well. And all you'll have to do is do a little bit of that, do a little bit of that. Maybe put a P tag around that hello world. All right. So now if we go back to our app and we click this, it will change the routes between hello world and schools. It's interesting what I'm gonna have to fiddle this with this more, and I might continue offline because like the state of the nav bar and like when you click on it, it's just it seems weird so far. So I'm gonna do that. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next time.